Welcome to 3 on the Ones and Twos with your hosts, Tom, Cassie, and James. Just 3 old friends talking about their favorite records. Think of it as the coolest book club for music nerds.
So the year was, usually I'm good at years, but I'm good. Okay, it was June 18th, 93. I saved this kid. Listen, can everyone not talk for like 3 minutes? So I saved this kid from getting killed by a gang of
everybody we know,
crazy skinheads, you know. But the insane thing is a week later. Oh goodness, I'm gonna kill you now for stealing my drink. A week later, he's at
See It Timeless.
See It Timeless Records.
See It Timeless.
And he meets my brother Scotty. Shout out to Scotty in New York. And he realizes, wait, you're Tom Cheshire's brother. And Scott goes, yes, and which we're very proud to be each other's brothers. And then this kid goes, oh, he saved my life last week.
Your brother saved my life.
From almost getting beat up by a gang of skinheads. Anyway, I'm going to pass the mic because I love just saying I'm a huge fan of the song Pass the Mic. I love saying it, and I'm a huge fan of this man. I love saying I'm going to pass the mic to James and let him say some things about this kid, little Bobby. You know,
the mystery man here. No. We go back all the way to the beginning.
Incredulous.
Yeah. Almost 30 years.
That's all. It's literally 30 years. What is it, 2022?
Yeah, it'd be 30 years in like the beginning of next year or something.
Yeah, exactly. We're at like 29 and a half years of
I think Carver's Driver
relationship.
Actually played one of the first Qualiacha shows.
I think it was our second and your second or something like that.
And remember the Summer Reptile was shut down or something.
Right.
Now, and then they were like, we saw guys in like suits coming up. Does this resonate?
I don't remember that.
Yeah, like, there were guys. Wally, the guy that always drank Chardonnay and checked the tickets. The big Wally.
Okay.
He was like, y'all can't come in yet, and they locked the doors, and we're like, huh?
There was a lot of
these
weird
guys,
stuff,
like mafia-looking dudes, showed up. Were like banging on the doors. And they finally went away, and they're like, okay, guys, come in.
Now you can play.
That was such a weird era for that, because like a lot of weird stuff like that would happen. Totally. We've known each other forever.
So who's this guy we're talking about? William
Greene? Mike Greene.
Senor Verde?
Yes. You were excited about this record, and we talked about, well, we're trying to change things up. And you were excited about this, like Will coming on, and like, we want to just not do the norm. We've had so much fun, and we're loving this show. But like anything in art, you want to expand and grow and let it happen in a just a very natural way, you know. So, what do you want to say to Will?
I have a lot to say to Will. No,
he owes you $20.
You know what? Will is somebody who I think I just got to be like
You changed me one night.
I kind of got to be.
Remember.
Really? I kind of got to be close. I think we just got to be close, like within the last, couple years. I think.
Well, I've been back since 2007.
Well, but it was before then. But the thing is, we've had mutual friends, obviously, and like we've been each other. Like he's pretty much somebody that like your name and your presence is like part of my history.
He's my younger brother.
But I am really excited that I've gotten to know you better in the last couple years because you are freaking hilarious.
It's a problem.
And not just looking well. I mean, like really as a person.
You should have married. I should have married her. Well, so let's talk about this record, which is such an interesting approach to what we're doing. So
this is an album by a band called Duster. I guess they pretty much are still in San Jose. I'm not totally sure. They're pretty elusive. Actually, I got in touch with some of the guys about this interview that I was doing just to make sure I had my facts right.
And one of them hung up on you.
God, it was the worst thing I ever did. But I started 67 and called him back. He didn't know it was my number. And he was like, hello? And I was like, I'm going to fuck you.
I think they're still San Jose. I didn't read anything about them not being.
But they've been around as long as we have in the West Coast scene. It's a shame. The only version of some of their bands that came to Atlanta was Jenny Piccolo.
Yeah.
And
tour?
Does
Like
any member of Daredevil appear in this band?
that I don't know. I'd have to ask.
Who's the drummer?
Yeah, they've been in like UFON and Calm, like a number of
Well,
movies.
UFON is.
These guys.
But, it's the one guy, right?
They all split off. They splinter into different groups.
But it's the one guy, and that's his, and he also owns like a label, maybe? He does a label.
I'm not sure about
I believe.
that. You've done your homework better than me.
I don't know.
Well,
It's like a book club.
My homework goes back to where, like, at the same time, the thing that I find interesting, at the same time on the West Coast and at the same time on the East Coast, you had stuff like Aspect of 4 and fucking, well, of course, Born Against Rorschach and, like really brutal, like, fucking insane, fast, Calamity bands. Like, almost sound like Calamity. And then at the West Coast, you had Heresy and fucking Antioch Arrow and shit like Mohinder. And it was all propping up or starting up at the same fucking time.
Yep.
But these bands really never got to even play together.
Yeah.
Even though at the same time they're
Because
coming up at the same time.
they were on opposite coasts.
Yeah, but we were all touring at that time.
Sure, but getting West Coast bands getting to the East Coast and
It's
East
not
Coast
easy.
band getting to the West Coast, it's like
We did it, so
it's not fun.
I'm not.
Or it's fun, but it's just hard.
This is my first.
lot of
this is my
mechanics.
first. This is my introduction to Duster. I do want to say thank you so much because I wouldn't. I mean, it's hard. I mean, I'm definitely not going to say it's one of my absolute favorites because because there's so many. I love it.
But
I mean,
this is them after
love
their.
it.
But
They took like almost
years.
a 20-year
Yeah.
hiatus. So because I'm new to this, I did want to find out. Everybody says that it was like they picked up right where they left off.
And they recorded this themselves as well.
Did they?
As far as I know, in the liner notes, they did it in a fucking garage with I don't know what kind of machine.
It's so incredibly beautiful.
Yeah, but the best part is this is so more cohesive. Where a lot of the other songs can be sketches. Sometimes this one's
snippets.
Yeah,
yes,
this one's like these songs.
They put the
kick it in.
time in and made it really great.
Beautiful.
It's tied up.
It is
real
really,
pretty, and they've actually just put out a new record as well.
Wow.
Yeah.
I haven't given it a great listen yet.
They did in March, right? And then
I ordered
now I'm
it.
pretty sure that they are completely done.
Maybe.
Yes. Well, that's what the one guy who was in if
UFON.
yes, I believe that he said that the other guy who's in
Are you talking
Helvetica.
about UFON?
Okay.
No, not
it's-
UFON.
it's
See,
not-
I'm thinking UFON.
No,
it's
it's
a different.
EUIEFAWN.
And then
But not UFON, and I remember them.
And the other guy is in Helvetica, and I think he has left. I think there was a
they treated
statement
it like a
put
project
out
a little bit.
that they. Well, I mean, it's
thought they were
interesting
touring.
because they never really said anything about. From my understanding, they never really broke up. They just kind of.
Let it flow.
And then nothing happened. And
you
they never
remember-
planned on breaking up. It was just that they planned on doing stuff.
You
They just
remember
never
Up
really did.
Records, right?
I mean, I've heard of, yeah.
Up Records used to put out stuff from Biltisville, like Doug
Biltisville.
Martin's old stuff. Northwest.
Oh, yeah, they do, right?
And their earlier stuff was on.
Quasi
Yeah, tons of stuff.
Carp,
Octon, Satisfact, I think.
Yeah.
Well, wait. Didn't they also do at the time, I think I read, were they the ones that did Modest Mouse? No, they were on the label that did
Up
Modest
was
Mouse,
on.
right? Modest Mouse was on Up for
Up
like
did a bunch of their stuff earlier. I don't know.
Okay.
I was never a Modest Mouse fan, but regardless,
That's another episode, brother. So keep it in your lane.
Yeah, stay in your
I know.
lane,
We'll
Will.
talk about it later.
what if I get really small?
I
and I'm just standing there.
I've saved your life once. I'll save your life twice.
And I'm like,
I absolutely love this. I mean, I wasn't sure what to expect because I know that you have very eclectic.
I gotta
taste,
watch
you
wild
know.
stuff.
And so I wasn't really
But
sure.
they have
Will's a
made
wide style.
American shoegaze. But
they
like,
have.
Yes.
They
yes.
did totally.
and they exist in different
That-
levels.
that
but
can-
a lot of the American shoegaze is striving for some popularity, kind of like Smashing Pumpkins or something, which is
Right, they want to be My
Yeah,
Bloody
no,
Valentine.
It's just fucking like God of Our Voices shoegaze. you know?
Or my
Yeah.
similar maybe my
Well,
Bloody
but that's
Valentine.
British. I'm
Yeah,
saying
right.
American.
Oh,
Like
you're talking
American
about exactly.
shoegaze, yeah.
And then it's so atmospheric. I mean, this will take this.
His lyrics will
is-
rip your
hey.
head off.
But you don't even need it because I didn't even know what the lyrics were a lot because they are so kind of hidden and under. It's just like the whole vibe, like everything about it.
It's like what I'm whispering to.
Yeah.
It's like when, but the thing is the term eclectic is such a wild a broad term, okay? Because I have friends who have eclectic tastes, and I like a third of what they like. And I have friends who we talk about, me, you, and James, where sometimes we're not insecure, we're conceited, and then we have eclectic taste and we have great taste. So Will Greene, I can honestly say, has impeccable, really good taste in music.
He does.
I've known him since I'm a bit older than him. I met him in the early '90s. Saved his life once, you know. But we've lived both in different parts of the country and even the world, and sent each other songs. And there's so many times where we've been 11,000 miles apart. He's like, "Have you heard this new Will Oldham track, Bonnie Prince?" I go, "Are you kidding me? I've been listening for the past 4 nights." And like,
and that boy brought me a beer in Japan.
Yes, he did.
Will Oldham brought me a beer.
Shout out,
He's
Will.
such a sweetheart.
I love Bonnie Prince Billy, but the thing is, and that's the music, you know. And this stuff right here, I knew of, and I love that like, because then I went back and listened to the early stuff, and I know exactly what you mean about snippets. And that also reminds me of God of My Voices, which like, no, I'll just do a 30-second song, a one verse, half chorus, song over. And I'm like, what? No, give me 3 minutes. I want 3 verses, 4 choruses, and a solo. You know what I mean?
Numero Group is doing a Capsule Loses Contact collection of all their demos and stuff, and some of those demos will break your fucking heart. Like,
now,
it's just about standing outside, smoking a cigarette, and thinking about.
Yeah, who's doing that?
Numero Group.
Numero Group. Now that is a label?
That is a label.
Okay.
Yes. You know the label, right?
Yeah, a numero is a number in Spanish. Just
thanks.
Just
Nosotros hablamos español.
Yo hablo un poco español.
I do have to say that.
Mi pinga es muy pequeña.
Just to say, when you look at like Spotify, when you look at Duster on Spotify, there are 1 million listens a month.
Wow.
Really?
That's awesome.
Because of Numero, because Numero has taken them under their wing.
Yeah.
And,
so
and
Numero is a big label that I don't know of.
Yeah, it's different. They do all kinds of weird
stuff.
You
know it because they did all the Unwound reissues.
Okay. I've just since this show I've started to learn about things like that I didn't really pay attention to earlier, like that. Okay.
But this isn't.
Get the bartenders.
This isn't on Numero technically, right?
No, this was not actually.
Okay.
I think they did it themselves.
But Numero reissued all the original Duster stuff,
and is doing the demos as well. It's a $100 box set, but it's totally fucking worth it.
But how many did they
because
have
those albums are like
they had Stratosphere, which is their first. 2 7 is Apex Trance, and I forget the other one. Moon Transit Orbit, maybe, I don't know. But then they had 1975, which is an EP. All those were on Up, right?
Okay.
And then they had Contemporary Movements, which is actually one of the more professionally, kind of, in my opinion, done labels. Our records. I don't know how they recorded that.
And then there was the compilation with the grouping.
What do you want? You want old fashioned?
The grouping.
Whatever I've been drinking.
There was the. Well, what was it? Capsule Losing Contact.
I can do that.
Capsule Losing Contact.
It's demos.
But that was the one that came out right before this.
It wasn't ever officially released.
I thought it was right before this. No.
No, it's on the internet. It was. Those are demos. You can only get them, honestly, that were dumped on by cassette.
How does the earlier stuff compare to this?
See, this is more tied in. Like I said, earlier
stuff. More executed.
More executed. Yeah, sketches. This is more executed. Summer War on this fucking album will blow your fucking head off. That's insane. Because there's a riff in there that's just absolutely fucking
There's
metal.
so much in here that's really beautiful.
But you can boogie to that stuff too.
The thing is our favorite songs, we don't want them to be 9 minutes long, but we don't also want them to be 39 seconds long. We want them to be 2.5, 3 minutes long.
Right. What is with that? I love this. This is like, have you seen? Okay, so you know have you seen like the memes? Have you seen about the memes about cats when they were painted by like medieval artists and they always look at their faces or like
they're mean.
Well, they always look at their faces or melting kind of. He looks sleepy.
That's when you let him in.
But you know what's really interesting to me? What's so interesting to me? It reminds me of. It reminds me of kind of how I feel when I listen to this. So there's this, so there's this, right? So this is the same as the white, and he looks like Sleepy Kitty, maybe Casual Kitty. But then here's here, and he's like, oh my God, he's sad.
He just did a bump.
Nah, he did some angel dust.
he just did some dust.
Which is another good band. Remember Angel Dust?
Great band. And kids.
Yeah, I guess again,
kids do not do that stuff.
I just think it's so cute because I can look at this and I don't have to get my glasses and see whether or not it's side 2 or side B.
On or off.
Your shirt, you keep your shirt on.
All right, listen, but these guys came from brutal fucking blistering insane hardcore to end up playing
they found the beauty.
It's absolutely drony, perfect, puts you in a dream. Delicious.
That's what I want to talk about because
that's it. That marriage.
Because those Duster albums, I remember
Mohinder.
But
Dust.
I introduced.
We're talking about West Coast crazy,
which is interesting because our last episode was about the Melvins who had like relocated to San Francisco Bay Area, and this is San Jose, which is about an hour south.
Well, they were in San Cupertino too. They all lived around the Bay Area.
Yeah.
But they actually had split 7 inches, Mohinder Nitwit 7-inch. Split 7 is one of my favorite records all the time.
Yes,
Billy Cole gave me a Mohinder record.
Yes.
As a birthday present, because he knew how much I loved him. Yeah, it was such a sweet, thoughtful gift.
But what I want to say about Duster is that at that time in sort of late '90s is sort of a lot of the crazy stuff had kind of come and gone, like all the Gravity Records stuff.
Sure, Emulation.
Yeah, like Antioch era was gone. Like, what are we doing next?
Well, it's funny, the difference between the first Antioch era and the second Antioch era is like night and day almost.
Sure.
It's weird.
But then all these bands sort of went in different directions and they did different things. Everybody branched out. They did
and it was so
whatever.
cool for that to be okay.
And
that was the beautiful thing about it.
It was a weird kind of experimentation, but like I always thought it was funny that Duster went in this direction as opposed to a different band that may have been more,
Well, it's funny, and I'll show this to you guys.
Of course, he's pulling out his phone to show us a picture.
I can't.
I'm not showing you.
I'm married, dude.
I know.
Do that.
Hey, I look good here. I look so fucking good here.
I should put a timer at how long it takes for Will to take out his phone to show us a picture every time you have a conversation.
No, seriously, I live a Christian.
I
live a Christian life these days. All right,
sure.
This is straight from the horse's mouth.
Okay.
Mohinder split up, and then 2 of us made loud, slow music, calm. And the other one, James Fearing, is the guy that was in Jimmy Piccolo.
Yes.
He's had a bunch of shoulder injuries recently. He's a buddy of mine on Facebook.
Sweet, this is from a guy in the group you texted him.
Yeah.
And he's like, don't talk about me in public.
No, he said, he honestly asked if you and I can make out, but you're the bottom.
You got it.
You're the bottom. Mohinder Path, and then they did Makara. Remember Makara?
Yes. No, we played with Makara.
My goodness. Love is all around.
Jason, thank you, I gotta change these first.
Jason, thank you. And thank you, Kelly and Michelle, for hosting this.
Thanks, brother. Makara and then Jenny Piccolo.
We're on fire.
That was the major fort. I did join Jenny Piccolo for a month or 2. It was mostly James' thing, James Fearing.
Yep.
Who's
Jamie Piccolo.
James Fearing Piccolo, who does DJing now. Calm eventually quieted into Duster, and James eventually became a jungle DJ. This is what he said. He goes,
by the way, he probably makes the most money.
Well, it's like my back surgery. He's got screws on his fucking shoulder. I feel bad.
I saw his back.
I love it.
I saw his back.
I would like to know.
Okay.
I would like to know how you feel about some of the songs on here. Like.
Well, Summer Wars. The first A-side to me, start to finish, and especially the way it denouements at the end.
Chocolate Mint kills me.
Yeah, it's good.
I mean, wow.
Talk about your order.
Well, or just talk about like some.
I'm an A-side man on this record.
B-side? I think I might be too.
B-side, I can segue into some other stuff. I'm an A-side.
I'm an A-side, but I think
Jason.
Thank you, Jason. I really do like the B-side, though. I do. I think I like the whole thing.
The whole thing as a piece is good.
Yeah.
And in the newer one, I've listened to a little bit. I want to kind of keep it away.
You want to take your time with
I think if I had to pick.
I didn't have to take my time with this one right off the bat.
For me, I did because it is very atmospheric, and so if you're. It's not something that's necessarily going to, unless you're in the mood for that when you listen to it, or that's something that you just naturally like. It's not something that's going to catch you right away. It's something you do have to.
The hooks,
whatever.
This is another thing.
It's just so moving.
One of the things that I enjoy about the Duster songs, and they exist in this one, and exist, it's hooks. And It's kind of like Greg, the way Greg King writes a song and stuff.
Shout out Greg
Shout out Greg King.
It may go
Our last episode.
4
Episode
measures.
36.
We love Greg.
It may go like 4
36.
measures or something like.
Yeah.
But on Stratosphere, there's several songs like this, like the early sketchy one. I call it sketchy, but they were complete songs. But they're putting like 5 measures in a 4/4 kind
And
of thing.
then there's the weird that hook
and
that
hooky
grabs
booky.
you. Yes.
Yeah, and it's just like what? Like and then like
What did he
there's-
just say?
You know, and combined with that, it's like makes you think of like Unwound. They're not getting back together. It makes you think of Unwound and stuff.
What'd you say about
They're
not?
doing a reunion.
They are.
They
They're
are.
doing a reunion.
Oh, really?
Oh, everywhere.
Did we mention this and I've just been spacing out?
No, I was naked that time when you were looking at me and you weren't listening.
So-
They made an announcement recently.
Yes. But what I want to say is, Duster did
I'll
it.
kill him.
It is an amazing kind of success story in a way.
In my
They're
opinion, they're getting that record though. So I haven't, like I said, I almost like I want to keep it secret.
I think it.
Right, you don't want
I
other
don't
people
wanna-
to like
I
it.
think-
Well, no, I
You
want
want it to
listen.
be yours
No,
first.
I want to listen to the
Yeah.
new one and go like, is it? Are they bending the truth
Have you?
too hard?
Wait,
I mean,
wait, wait, wait.
you're not trying to mention Built to Spill, but you want to keep it like a
Wait,
series
Will,
like
wait,
that.
Will.
Oh,
Have you heard the new one that came out though in March? Did you hear?
I
the
haven't
one?
heard it yet.
You have, and
I know
how do you feel about?
That's again, I'm taking my time with it because
It's
I'm
good to know,
worried
it's
they're
good to
bending
know.
the arrow.
I mean, you picked
they're
this
bending the
one.
arrow a little. I don't know yet. I haven't paid attention to it. They might be pushing the turd that they just like.
No.
I don't know yet. I don't know. I'm the old man that's being the
But
boo-boo.
I'm a huge
not
fan.
there.
I'm a huge fan of this. Like you mentioned, the garage. Yeah, I mean, I haven't slept in 3 days, but thank you. I'm a big fan of the garage, and I think the recording itself is awesome.
You're fucking
Like,
insane.
I
That's
think-
powerful.
Is there like microphones?
It's really cool,
Is there
like the
microphones?
way it's recorded.
Are there
I like it a
microphones
lot.
taped to a
Yeah.
vacuum cleaner? Like I mean,
It's just
you know,
powerful.
seriously.
And
No.
the feedback and the way they layer the guitars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's sick. It's
There's
fucking
something
sick.
that they do. There's
Thank you,
something that they
Jason.
do.
Thank buddy.
Thank you,
Um,
Matt.
Thank you, Jason.
Thank you,
you,
Kelly.
Matt.
Kelly,
Thank you,
come say hi.
Kelly. Woohoo.
Starts off run.
I think there's so there's something. Okay, chocolate and mint. A lot of these, but the chocolate and mint is probably the one that I would
going.
say
Gotta keep
most feels. I don't want to say.
I wanna
I
stop
do
with
want to say Pink Floyd, but I don't because I don't want people to think literal Pink Floyd. I want people to think. You know that feeling that some of their songs have, like
I
when you
do.
listen to them, where
I'm
you're
a
like,
huge
where
Pink
you're
Floyd
floating,
fan to
where
this day.
you're floating in a space, like when you see like spacewalks,
Did
and
you
you like,
listen
and
to
you
the
and you
earlier
and
stuff?
you.
Was
What
Stratosphere?
Duster? No, I haven't. But there's this.
I'll do a shot.
Whenever I see people doing spacewalks, right, on like
One for
for
James.
like the
Oh,
space
shit.
station, and then you
One for
think,
James.
and then like, okay, the feeling of what would it be like if
And
you
one for
lost
you,
your
and one for
tether
you.
and you were just floating in space?
Cheers.
I don't need to see that. Neither does anybody. Anyway, and you're
Cheers.
floating in space, right?
Sure.
Where it's so like it's
I love you.
Oh, cheers.
where it's so. Can I have a pickle?
Yes.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Where it's so scary,
It's scary.
sad, but peaceful
And
at the same
dreamlike.
time, and
That's my
dreamlike.
color Bobby.
And it's so, and there's something about that, right?
And
That's just
dream
so.
like, which we love. That's why we love Jason and Spaceman 3, and that's why we love Pink Floyd. Or
So
at least that's
again,
why I
Yeah,
love
yeah,
Pink
Let's bring
Floyd.
this
go
back
back
to
to bring
the
it
back to
American
this.
shoegaze.
Yes.
And it sucks to use that term kind of because
it's
it's like
such a-
tagging them, but fuck, man. Like, and even God of My Voices has dabbled in that shit a little
Without
bit.
a doubt.
Lo-fi.
Well, no.
What other American shoegaze type stuff do
See
you
that
like?
Yellow Tango would be. They can play that
Yeah.
route because again, it's coming from like.
But I
Sonic
think-
I
Youth.
just saw that.
There's a new wave
In Barcelona.
of bands that
Blood,
are like this.
Blood
That's what's
Circle,
so
Deer
cool.
Hunter.
Blood Circle.
Sure, yeah.
Definitely.
Deer Hunter.
Have you
They're
heard?
nasty.
Do you know the band Lacing
No.
from Chattanooga?
Uh-uh.
It's like this. It's when I listen to it, I hear Scene.
What about Mantra?
There's a lot. Well, yeah, but we're going back to
I know that's
back in the
older,
day.
but Mantra
But-
was kind of the prelude to that American
Sure,
style.
it all comes together. But
More like world
I do
music.
think that there's a new sort of
There are some
generation
Blood
of
Circuit
people
shoegaze
who
Yeah.
are kind of doing this kind of stuff
No, I like
Oh,
that.
as like
I do like
A
that.
hot mention. Moon type. Moon type. Have I sent you some of that stuff?
I don't think so.
3 kids, 22 years old.
See,
And they're playing stuff like it's like Sensiel mixed with fucking Always mixed with it's like poppy but thick
This kind of stuff melts my brain a bit,
Hell
but
yeah.
it's
So
fine.
good.
It's
They're nuts. They're fucking nuts.
If there were any weak spots on the album,
0.
what would you say?
0. On
Okay,
that one.
I would say if I
That's
had
why
to
he
pick
picked
one,
it.
if I had to pick, well, but you can tell weak spots on something that you pick and
Either
love.
the weak spots are just noise and
I would say,
dissonance, and those aren't
right,
weak.
right. Well, no, but if you had to, I would say go back. If
He
I had
will
to,
not
I would,
say there
well,
is.
I will. I will say if I had to. I love this
You
album,
have
by the
200
way.
seconds.
I love this
It's about Will.
album. I'm so happy that you picked it
Yes,
because
ma'am.
it's so beautiful.
Yes.
I would say go back if I had to. Just that go back for me is the. If I had to pick a weak spot, that would be it. And it's
Well,
just
I
and it's
got you.
nitpicking. It's
Glass half
nitpicking
empty.
though because
So-
it's still good.
So for me, go back in parentheses would be like,
Last up.
now's the time to go take a 2-minute piss.
Yeah.
And then come back and listen.
And let's do it again.
right.
Yes. Enjoy yourself.
Smack 'em over. Wait.
What about
It's a beautiful album. It
Thousand
really
Air?
is. It's
Let's talk
atmospheric.
about
it's-
Thousand
See,
Yeah.
I kind of look at that as being
Yeah.
sort of when I think about Thousand Air in
Totally.
Atlanta. I think
Wiggins.
about sort of a
Jazz band.
modern shoegaze,
Now
but
Wiggins
also
is doing,
doing
it.
a lot of stuff.
And,
yeah.
and those are 3 of our good buddies, Chad
course.
and
And
Tom Bruno.
Tom and
Yep.
That's badass.
Wiggins was Western Martell sound man, and he did a wonderful job.
Have
Love
you ever taken your shirt off?
I've taken my shirt off for the few men and women in my life. We'll talk about it
I
later.
just check 'em out.
I used to get naked all the time, but I'm older now.
Grape
so-
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
You chased me one night.
Michelle has seen
Alcohol.
Michelle has seen me in my underwear backstage.
Get to edit this stuff.
Yeah. I love.
Pictures, please.
There is.
I love the
It's
new.
me- it's
I
me-
love
it's
the
me
new
and Darren
the new
Sanders.
direction
Right,
of
hands In case
improv, loose.
You wanna rap?
3 on the 1s and 2s. By the way, I'm seeing. Thank you for the West. Oh my God, that's me. I'm seeing Western Motel and Awesome Stickers up here. We need to do a silhouette blue of me, you, and James, and do 3 on the 1s, 2s stickers.
There you go.
We should.
You know that's right.
I put one of those in
Send
my
me stickers of your bands.
I saw a great sticker.
Yeah,
I
stick 'em
back
on
saw,
your
I
labels,
saw a
too.
great sticker the other day, and it
I'll
said.
send extras I had. I'll send out with orders sometime.
I'm really happy to be
And,
here with y'all. And there's a million different things I can
Yeah.
talk about music. Unfortunately, my brain is so fucked because that's all I obsess over. I think the only
It's
thing
okay.
I'm good at is obsessing over music and maybe playing it. I'm not. I think working.
I'll say I felt like I made it when
No,
I
I think work because I gotta eat.
Death pickle label.
I gotta eat and I gotta have gasoline.
I
But
love this album.
yeah.
It's a band that I wasn't
Yeah.
familiar with.
So check this out. So I'm a big fan of. So if someone gets paid $500,000 to speak at IBM, none of us that's happening to, whatever. But when they give a speech,
It'll happen.
it's an intro, a body, and then an outro, closing. So sometimes things come full circle, and you end with what you started with. So I saved this kid's life with
He
a
really did.
bunch of
Yeah.
skinheads.
These
one
guys
night.
were beating the shit. But this guy saved my life and be my friend for fucking 30 years too. And that's the truth.
The reality is
Clay Parton.
the
Clay Parton. Clay Parton is the one whose solo stuff is I
The
find.
reality of it is music saves and changes and rearranges, and I'm so
And
grateful.
it just keeps us semi-sane.
It does, Tom.
And
Thank you for coming up with the idea for this show.
Oh,
and give
Thank
me
you.
for the end of this. Let's your testimonial on Duster and what
I'm
happened
I'm
with
listening to it
bands
tonight.
in the '90s
The
when they we're gonna give you the floor to really
I
like.
just think it's fucking amazing, like the million different degrees that they went through. But it's funny because I can reverse it and look back on what me and Greg and Clay did, like all the different shit we did, and how we changed our musical approach. Though we can always go back and play the hardcore maybe, or do it. We do it.
and listen, in Quality Option, holy, you guys left your stamp and left your mark, big time.
But that's how I know these guys. That's how I know them personally. You know, and that's why the guy fucking answered my goddamn text message because it's like I was around in the day. And
Thanks for texting him. Thank you for texting.
Not
him.
that guy. But the point being is, but I love that guy. But point being is, I'm very proud of these guys for being able to change the amount they have and continue to put out fucking
I think
heartbreaking
being
music.
able to take
Actually,
a break.
heartbreaking music. and execute.
Yeah, but also being able to take a break and do life shit and come back almost 20 years later and put out something like you didn't skip a beat.
They didn't skip a beat.
Is really impressive.
Will's done. Well, listen, everyone, listen to this album. I'm a huge fan, and I think we all come from the place of, well, the new thing is people like put one good song on an album and that's it. They push it, whatever. No, we love pieces of art. I mean, I was watching Sid and Nancy the other night, and to be honest with you, and I'm a huge Gary Oldman fan, but just the girl who plays Nancy annoys the hell out of me so much, whatever. But that soundtrack is so good, and I listened to it 4 times in a row that night. Drinking sangria, yes. She's really bad. But the thing is like, it's life and love and everything. And love you guys. And we love Kelly's Death Pickles. Love Will Greene. Love you guys. Cheers, everyone. Love us all around.
Boogie.
Love us all around.